Hi, thanks for tuning in to Mom's Indoor Garden. So today we're going to talk about containers. One of the more expensive things about starting an indoor garden can be containers. But today we're going to show you some things that are free or virtually free that you could use to start your garden and grow some great indoor vegetables. So let's get started. Okay, let's take a quick look at some of the plants that I have going here. This is my citrus, my lemon tree. It's in a big plastic container. I like plastic because it's lightweight, it's easy to keep clean, and I think this cost me about $20 at Home Depot. Then I have a couple other larger plants here, my rosemary and a Thanksgiving cactus. Both of those are in plastic pots, and honestly, I think I found these plastic pots on the side of the road. I know the rosemary one I found on the side of the road for free, so always keep an eye out because people do just give away pots, and it's great to be able to get free pots because that certainly cuts down on the expense of gardening. But those are a couple plastic ones. Big fan, but again, don't like to spend a lot of money, so let's look at some alternatives that are on the free or nearly free. Okay, so these are some of the containers that I use on a regular basis that are either free or nearly free. This is one of my favorite all-time containers to grow greens in. This is actually a container I buy greens at the supermarket in. So after you use the container and you're done with your supermarket greens, fill it up with soil. Make sure you put holes in the bottom of it. Use the lid as a saucer and you can grow greens in that basically indefinitely. It's a great size container. I think this is spinach, but you can grow lettuce. Anything that's a small green grows great in these containers. And again, they were free. I was going to buy the lettuce, and this one was a 50-50 blend. I was going to buy that anyhow. So we got that one for free. Okay, another great pot to get are these nursery pots. A lot of times outdoor gardeners will buy pre-done plants, pre-started plants, and they buy them in these nursery pots. When they plant them in their garden, they have no use for these anymore, so they usually put them out on the side of the road for free for anybody who might need them or want them. I always grab them. They're great to have. They come in all kinds of sizes. They're always completely free. Okay, so this one isn't exactly a real container, but I wanted to show you this while I had it out. I started some seeds in this. I love starting seeds in egg cartons because you can grow great seedlings in here, and then when the seedlings are ready, you can just pull off. This is totally biodegradable. You can just pull this off and plant it into a bigger container. It's a great way to start seedlings, and again, it's free. It would otherwise have gone into the recycle bin. So these are great containers that you may not have thought about this. If you have a cat or a friend with a cat and they get kitty litter in one of these containers, this is great for planting. So it is a number 2, so it is food grade. And these make perfect containers for your plants that have taller or longer root balls, bigger root balls. Let me show you a couple tricks. Okay, so this brand of kitty litter actually has like a little guideline where they put their label. So I'm going to use that to cut off the top of this. Okay, so I cut the top off this, and now we're going to put this in the container upside down, but we want more than just this one big drain hole. We're going to cut the handle a little bit too to allow the drainage on both sides. Okay, so I cut the handle off, and I have the hole here obviously, so I have 3 good drainage areas. I'm going to put this inside upside down. It goes right down to the bottom. So we have plenty of drainage, and this is a nice deep pot. This pot is great. I love this for things like broccoli or anything else. It has a good sized root ball. It works out really well. And the nice white surface is an extra bonus. You can draw on it or label it or whatever. But these are my favorite pots for bigger plants, and again, completely free. Okay, same technique with the kitty litter and gallon jugs. You want to find about where it comes to the widest point. You want to cut along and then turn this upside down within the jug itself. It allows drainage. You don't need drain holes at the bottom. It allows drainage within the pot. And usually if you buy water or cider or whatever, you get these for free. Here's another one you may not have thought about. If you're a coffee drinker like me, I get so many of these nice bags. They're made out of like I'm not sure, some kind of plastic material. Anyhow, they're great for holding plants. So all you have to do with these is kind of fold down. I like to fold down the top to give the top a little bit more stability. So just go around and fold that down all the way. And then on these, you do need to poke holes in the bottom or even at the side a little bit. I prefer the side because it will sit on something and you want it to drain. So if you go around the bottom and poke holes and then put that in something that can catch the water, it usually works out really well. This is great for things that, again, have a deep root system, but they're not that big of a plant. Okay, so this one's not quite free, but a lot of times I have these Rubbermaid or Tupperware containers that either I've lost the right lid or they just got stained or something and I just don't want to use them anymore. So I use these for planters too. These are great. If you have the lid or another lid, they can be drained onto that. You do need to make holes in the bottom so it drains, or slightly on the side so that you're not prohibiting the water from coming out because it's draining onto a tight surface. One thing that you need to remember about these containers and also back to the water bottles, if you're using clear plastic, that can be bad for your roots because the sunlight getting into the root system can cause some disease and some fungus. So what you want to do if you have something like this is you do want to either spray paint or cover it with cloth or do something to keep the root system and below the surface of the soil out of the sunlight. Okay, so speaking of spray painting, I'm going to try something crazy this year. We have so many cardboard boxes, whether they're Amazon boxes, Chewy boxes, everything comes in a box. There's so many boxes out there right now, and they come in great sizes. So I'm going to try and use a box for my garden, and I have a couple different ones I'm going to try. I know cardboard is porous, and I know it will get wet and deteriorate. That's not the worst thing in the world that can happen, but I'm going to try and slow that process down a little bit. What I've done with this one is I used, it's just a normal cardboard box, and I used a primer on it. This primer I just happen to have in the house. It's a Rust-Oleum product. It's a filler primer, and this one's for automotive, but they make a general use one too, and it's all essentially the same stuff. Please be aware this is not food safe. So you only want to do the outside. You don't want to prime the inside. It's not a food safe product. But it does fill in the gaps and makes it a little bit watertight. Rust-Oleum actually makes a product that's supposed to keep things actually watertight. I don't know whether it works or not. Have never tried it. I had this in the house. I'm going to try this, and then I just put a coat of Rust-Oleum paint over the surface so it looked a little prettier. I know it will deteriorate. My goal is to make this box not deteriorate until after my stuff is done growing. So it's a short-term solution, but there's an abundance of boxes. So if we can keep recycling the boxes through as the plants grow, that would be a great use of both recycled material and also a cheap way to start a garden. So I have this one that I'm going to just put soil in. I have this one that I actually did the same spray on, but I put a plastic bag in here. Not a giant fan of using a plastic bag, but again, we have so many of them. So what I did was I just lined and put holes in the plastic. This is like a Walmart bag or something. Put holes in the bottom so it drains. Push that in and then flap over it so that the edges of the plastic bag stay nice and tight under the flaps. Fill that with dirt. Maybe it will make the cardboard last a little longer. My goal is to make the cardboard last as long as the growing season for whatever plant I'm going to put in here. Both of these I think are going to get broccoli in them. So those are just some of the ideas that I use when I'm building my indoor garden. Please let me know if you've tried any of these or if you've tried some other ones that you think other people might like. Would love to hear from you. Also, don't forget to read the description. In the description, I'll have the numbers of plastic recycling that are food safe generally. And then also I'll give you a list of size of containers and what I use for different size vegetables when I'm growing indoors. So next video will be soil, what we actually put in the containers. And again, I'm going to try and do that so that you're not going to spend a lot of money, but your plants will be really successful. So please subscribe. Keep an eye out for the next video. Thank you.